weather today. It's pouring rain just a few blocks down, but it's sunny in other areas. Fortunately, I'm in the dry spot. And what I read today, with all the news about war around the world and people using drones as weapons, how about this one? This one says, IDF deploys Vulcan Cannon on northern border to counter drone threat. And no, these aren't signal jammers or anything like that. Imagine having these just blasting drones out of the sky. I believe this is the one anyways. It says the IDF recently deployed its first Vulcan Cannon on the northern border with the goal of intercepting drones launched from Lebanon into Israel. The cannon was developed by the Israeli company Tamar, and the IDF will assess the cannon's effectiveness in its operational area in the north. The Defense Ministry recently issued a call to all Israeli industries to find a system that would enhance the IDF's ability to intercept drones over Israel. I guess that's one way to take it down. It makes me wonder, how expensive is it though to fire all that ammo trying to take down a drone? Although in these cases, if it's those bigger kamikaze ones that's been crashing into buildings and all that, I guess it's not a bad idea if you're trying to intercept it, I guess, over open areas and all that. And with that thought, how about this one in terms of a kamikaze drone of sort? This one says, revolutionary AI kamikaze drones, a US startup equips the Marines. So everybody's getting into the game, huh? It says the United States Marine Corps is set to revolutionize its tactical capabilities with the introduction of AI-powered kamikaze drones. Developed by Anduril, a cutting-edge military technology startup, these unmanned aerial vehicles promise to reshape modern warfare. Yeah, it looks kind of crazy at first when you look at this little drone of sort. You think, okay, I guess it's like a reconnaissance drone, for example, but apparently it's meant to be armed and dangerous in terms of crashing into vehicles and all that. It says Anduril, founded in 2017 by investors including Palmer Luckey, the creator of Oculus Rift, has unveiled its latest creation, the Bolt series. These lightweight, cost-effective drones are designed to enhance the USMC's combat effectiveness without requiring specialized pilots. The Bolt family consists of the two main variants, Standard Bolt, which focus on surveillance and autonomous reconnaissance, and Bolt M, an offensive version equipped with a versatile mutations bay and high-precision firing capabilities. Both models boast impressive specifications, with the Standard Bolt offering a 45-minute flight time and a 20-kilometer range. The Bolt M, despite its heavier payload, maintains a 40-minute endurance over the same distance. These drones are engineered for rapid deployment and ease of use, allowing Marines to focus on their mission rather than complex piloting tasks. What's kind of interesting with that statement though, of them saying you don't need a quote specialized pilot, is it as straightforward as flying, for example, a modern day consumer drone? Is it automated in the sense of you tell it in terms of the target and then it will do everything itself? Because it makes you think too, again, where a lot of people say it's so complex in terms of flying, like, modern day drones where you need tens of thousands of dollars in training. I mean, this kind of shows that example too. For a lot of this stuff, it's pretty straightforward overall. But either way, non-stop development of weaponized drones, I guess you could say, which is the stuff people should really be afraid of. And today it seems there was a lot of news for some reason about that provincial election that we had recently where we still actually don't know who won. They say they need to do things like recounts, wait for things like mail-in ballots, and then there was a couple of things that got people kind of suspicious, where apparently here there were articles and stuff talking about how election officials brought ballots or whatever, like back to their own home. Like this one says, Election BC allowed staff to take ballots home during advanced voting week. That's kind of interesting, huh? I would imagine you'd have to keep it on site or at least somewhere that's neutral, for example, government owned and all that. It says a member of one of the candidates' team showed Breakers News correspondence with an Election BC official about a case of unmarked ballots being taken home for safekeeping. The candidate asked not to be identified in the print, saying supervisors have the options of keeping sensitive documents and ballots either at my district office or at a safe place off the polling place overnight, i.e. their home but not left in their cars. The district returning officer wrote, the key point is keeping them off-site. The email said that all election officials have made their solemn declarations to maintain the integrity of our voting problems and routinely bring all ballots back to specific polling sites prior to opening each day. And according to this, they say they confirm they could actually legally do this, saying, quote, at the end of each day of advanced voting, cast ballots are secured in a ballot box that is sealed and signed by election officials and scrutineers, said Senior Communications Director Andrew Watson. In urban ridings, unused ballots and ballot boxes are returned to the district office for secure storage. Where this is not possible, for example, in rural ridings where it is too far for a voting place supervisor to drive back to the district office at night, the unused ballots and sealed ballot boxes will be securely stored at the senior election official's home. This maintains a chain of custody, and the justification is they took an oath, for example, and if they violate that in general, they could get things like a $10,000 fine and all that, but either way, that's making some people really suspicious. And then the other thing was, I guess the reason why we're waiting is because of things like mail-in ballots and stuff like that, and why some people are getting skeptical over it. Initially, it says here on the BC election sites that on October 20th, there was approximately 49,000 ballots that would be counted as part of the final count, and then just said, as the screening process is nearing completion, we now estimate that approximately 65,000 ballots will be counted as part of each final count. So it just keeps going up, and then it seemed like at the end, it increased to about 66,074 mail-in ballots. So it's kind of weird so far, like this whole thing. And I guess the thing that caught my attention again was how this time around, I've actually never seen this before, where they allowed people to actually phone in to vote. I'm even wondering, how is that even possible to really verify that's the actual person? And you can see, like for the mail-in ballots, like the data here, the interesting thing is in this category it says certification envelopes containing mail-in and assisted telephone votes. And it says there was what, 43,538. Yeah, so that's kind of makes me wonder how many people actually quote phoned in to vote, and how do you track this afterwards in terms of verification? I know, like for the mail-in ballots, I would assume anyways, there should be some kind of physical copy afterwards in case you want to audit it. How would you audit this in terms of somebody phoning in? Do they actually store their voice, exactly which ID they use and so forth? But technically we're supposed to get the results tomorrow, but oh man, I can imagine here, if it doesn't go a certain way for people, depending on which party they vote for, I can easily see people saying corruption, fraud, and so forth, just because of how weird this whole situation is. I guess it's that time already too, huh? I'm one of those quote undecided voters. Who's the lesser of all evils? All right, see you guys later.